Ladies and gentlemen, live from the top of the food chain, Brooklyn, New York, a new day has arrived in cable TV. Strap yourselves in for a fun ride. It's the Cyclone Variety Show. Now here's your host, Cyclone!
Look who it is. Me. I know you guys hate me. Everyone hates me. Everyone loves Chris, but everyone hates me. So, have you guys ever heard about the saying, your body is a temple? Well, if that's true, my body is the Wailing Wall. There's that movie right now out, Dunkirk. I absolutely refuse to see that movie. No way am I seeing it. I prefer to go see Dunkin' Donuts Kirk. And speaking of Dunkin' Donuts, they've actually said that they want to drop the word donuts out of their name. They no longer want to be called Dunkin' Donuts. Now it's just Dunkin', which goes inside with Dunkirk. But they're doing this because they want to concentrate on coffee, which kind of would make their new name Dunkin' Diarrhea. Because their coffee's no good. So you guys excited? August 21st, that huge solar eclair is coming? I mean, we're talking huge solar eclair. And speaking about eating foods, I'm kind of hungry now. I haven't been fed today. It's been a long day here at Brick, more than you guys watching at home know. But I'm kind of in the mood for some fruits, kind of like a baked granny apple. Then again, it doesn't matter if it's a baked granny apple or baked granny the woman. Just a baked granny. Chick-fil-A is back in the news. Everyone's favorite. In Langhorne, Pennsylvania, apparently a customer was outraged, absolutely nuts, that there was a dead rodent in her sandwich. Apparently, they forgot the bacon and the cheese, too. That's why she's angry. Pig. And another news story about Chick-fil-A. Of all things, Chick-fil-A is in a... And another story about Chick-fil-A is apparently there's a Chick-fil-A restaurant in the new Atlanta Falcons stadium. One tiny problem. It's not open on Sundays. Atlanta Falcons can't get any luck, can they? And all this talk about food. Look, the fact of the matter is, back in a past life, I was actually a Victoria's Secret supermodel. It's the truth. I swear. And the only reason why I stopped is because the wings started getting heavy. So I took them off and I just started eating wings. And you guys have all heard about the nursery rhyme Humpty Dumpty? Well, there's a conspiracy theory. Nowhere in that nursery rhyme does it say that Humpty Dumpty is an egg. And I'll tell you one better yet. It never says that he fell off the wall. Personally, I think he was pushed. I think a liberal pushed that non-egg Humpty Dumpty off the wall and killed him. Another little news story is that before mercury was used in thermometers, they used brandy, which is kind of ironic because way back many, many years ago, I dated a brandy, and I filled her with liquid. Earlier today, I shouldn't say I didn't eat anything. That was just a lie. I lied to you. I'm sorry. I did have a fortune cookie this morning, and it said that I was going to get a new, wonderful home. I guess that means that that big, giant refrigerator box on the street corner is going to be mine real soon. Yay, homeless. You know, I got to tell you, between doing this show, between doing the In the Cage with Cyclone podcast, I got to admit, I am really looking forward to becoming well-known, famous, in the public eye. So this way, all my messes can be so beautifully told on my 30 for 30 on ESPN. Look, there's a lot of stuff going on down south. There's stuff going on up north. And in New England, the Holocaust Memorial was smashed and ransacked. And apparently the people around, while this was happening, tackled the teenager. So all those people not only are being praised, but they're getting the key to the city, and apparently they're now the defensive line for the New England Patriots. Because they suck. More, I guess you could say, Judaism in the news. A Swiss hotel is ordering that all Jewish people in their hotel shower before they jump into the pool. Which I kind of think that's actually pretty logical, you know. Only thing is, they're letting the other people like rub poop all over themselves before they go in the pool. See, I know how you people think. You people think that I was going to say something like, "Oh, Jews only shower before they go into the ovens, not before the pools." See, I can get away with saying that because I'm a he myself. But no, I wasn't going to go there. But you people thought it. Get your minds out of the gutter. I'm not that person. Well, I am, but just not today. So, all that being said, I'm exhausted already. I'm tired. But we have a kick-ass show. Are you guys ready for it? Thank you. So, we have a killer fucking lineup. We have a killer lineup. Ladies and gentlemen, the incredibly funny Pauline Murphy is here. Sidney Cloud is here. And he's going to be stirring up the pot more than I ever could. But starting it all off, all the way from Connecticut, the Nutmeg State, Mr. Jonathan 6A.
This first song is called 40 More Ounces of Beer to Go. Baby, I love when you wear that little blue dress. You have a way of relieving all of my stress. You're the only one who knows what I've been through. You don't know how much I adore you. I don't know how to tell you how I feel. I'm not sure how to say it. It's like feeling all alone with your last cigarette. Call her on the phone when you've had your last shot of Jack on your breath. 40 more ounces of beer to go. 40 more ounces and I'll be heading home. I'll never forget the last time that I saw you. I was spinning my tires and you were crying in the rear view. I probably should have turned around, but I couldn't take the sound of you crying loud. I don't know how to tell you how I feel. I'm not sure how to say it. It's like feeling all alone with your last cigarette, calling on the phone when you've had your last.
Thanks a lot, John. That was really, really great. And you're going to play us out again later, right? Cool. Thanks a lot. So, like I said, I'm kind of in the mood to stir up some heat today. Because in the middle of the summer, it's what it is. It's all heat. Heat, heat, heat. And to do that, right now, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sidney Cloud. Sidney, thanks for stopping by.
All right, thanks for having me.
So, let's start before we get into the nitty-gritty things with you. 3 blocks away from here, later this week,
Yep, this weekend.
what are your thoughts on SummerSlam?
You're gonna bring me here and turn me into a mark now, man? I'm trying to hide those feelings, man, but it's whatever to me, man. I'll speak about it. Did you see SmackDown last night?
Oh, thank God, no.
I love SmackDown.
Really?
Yeah, I actually prefer it to Raw. Well, I'm gonna spoil some things for you. Baron Corbin cashed in and lost, and that pretty much made me not that excited for SummerSlam anymore because I predicted a successful cash-in at SummerSlam from Corbin. Other than that, it's all right. It's not 98 through 2003 anymore, but I'm pretty sure I'll have fun. I'll be there.
Now, I'm a member of the MMA media.
Okay.
And first of all, there was a story going on that even I reported on that Cyborg was supposed to be in town to challenge.
Who's Cyborg?
I'm forgetting the UFC's featherweight champion. Yeah.
You think I could take him?
She would.
Oh, she.
Yes. Although, I mean, Dana White has called Cyborg a lot of names, including Wanderlei Silva and Drag, but another story coming out is with Brock.
Okay. I've heard the rumblings.
And I just want to get your take on the type of business that Brock uses, because Brock seems to use one against the other. Whenever things are going slow with the WWE, he comes to the UFC. Every time something with the UFC is going on, he runs right back to Vince and the WWE. I was just wondering what your take on Brock is.
Well, contract negotiations are coming up in April, so he has to do what he has to do. I like Brock a lot. I like the way he conducts himself. He waits for the right moment to make the right decisions. I'm pretty sure in 2018 when his contract is up, they're going to want to re-sign him, and he'll have a little bit of leverage with that. He can say, hey, screw you guys, I'm going back to UFC, either for more money or maybe to do both. Who knows? I agree with him. I'm loyal to the dollar. It's just me.
Now, as you say, loyal to the dollar, there is a huge, kind of big event later on this month. And look, you're someone involved in combat sports, so it's always great to get everyone's take. Conor Floyd.
Oh, come on.
Look, listen, don't say, oh, come on. I deal with the oh, come ons with the people in the MMA community about it.
You want to know the truth, or you want to know how I really feel?
Yes.
Am I going to get in trouble for what I really feel?
Possibly.
Okay. It's BS. It's not real. They're not fighting each other. It's.
You think it's a Vince work?
It's a gimmick. It's a gimmick. You're gonna have a whole bunch of dummies. What is it? $100?
100 on HD, and
How else do you watch TV?
you could get it for $89, not on HD.
On standard? No, my eyes are too spoiled for that.
Well, my eyes are broken, which is why I'm wearing these
No,
things.
you have
so-
see, you have glasses. So if you were to come over to my place and watch my 4K screen, you'd enjoy it. No, but that's a gimmick match, man. I'm gonna watch it after 3 or 4 Long Island iced teas, but look, if there was a gun to my head, I'm saying Floyd's gonna win. That's just the way it's gonna be. There's no way. There's no way McGregor's gonna take that away from him. I don't see it.
I think he is.
Unless they're paying Floyd a whole lot of money, which then I'd agree with it. But
That's the other thing. Would Floyd take a dive for an insane amount of money?
I would. I mean, but he doesn't need it.
That's true. That's the other thing. Would he, but does he need?
It all depends on the man. You know, I wish I could dig inside his brain, and if it were real, if I thought it were real, I wish I could dig in his brain and see what he's thinking. But yeah, I think people are going to be kind of disappointed. What is it, on the 26th?
Yeah.
Nah. I'm still excited for it, though. I'm still going to watch it.
Okay, so now that we move away from those guys, now let's talk about the indie scene.
Oh, the indie scene.
Okay, so before anything, when did you realize you wanted to get involved?
Well, I've been a fan since '97, and once I saw Rock versus Austin at WrestleMania 15, that was like the moment where I was like, I could see myself doing this, and I want to do this at some point in my life. Then I got into trouble as a teenager and things, you know. I was a troublemaker, and my life was going. My life was real bad, and then I had my second son, and I started to see how fast time was going. I was already 21 years old, and I'm like, if I don't do this now, then it's never. So I went on Google and I searched up every single wrestling school I could find, and you know, after about a good week, I'd say, I decided to train with Johnny Rods at Gleason's Gym. Just the history there, his reputation, and the fact that he's a respected WWE Hall of Famer, regardless of all the jokes everybody seems to have about him. You know, he was the guy back in the day that he was Vince Senior's guy. He was the one that would test the guys to make sure that they were tough enough to work in the business, and to make sure that they were, you know, of good character and everything. So I respect Johnny a lot for that. And I thought that was the best place to start off, and I was right, because I feel like I learned the right way. A lot of schools are not teaching workers, if you want to call them that, or the new guys who come in. They're not teaching them respect, you know, locker room etiquette, and that's why you hear so many fights, so many people, you know, shooting on each other in the ring, because they weren't brought up the right way.
Now, I don't even know a good way to bring it up. If there's that level of bad etiquette in the back, does it transfer over to taking harder bumps inside the ring?
What do you mean? Like if there's heat between two guys and
Right.
they go out? Well, that's it's not just wrestling. That could be football. You know, if two guys get into it in the back, you're gonna see it on the field. What is it? What's the movie with Jamie Foxx and LL Cool J? Was it Any Given Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah. When they got into their thing, they're two actors, you know, and they're not even football players. They were two actors. They had a disagreement, you know, in the back. They went out. They were supposed to be acting, and they wound up getting into a fight. So that type of situation can happen anywhere. Have I seen it? Plenty. Have I been involved with it? No. Because these suckers out here know. They know, man. You know, as funny as I might be, there's a side of me they don't want to see, and they know that. And if they want to admit it or not, there's only been one person to mess with me. There's only been one person.
Now, what's the worst injury you've ever suffered?
None. See, the way we learn at Johnny Rod's Club of Pro Wrestling, which I'm going to give Johnny credit again, we learn the right way. We learn the safe way. You don't need, people are going to hate me and people are going to call me sore and miserable for saying this, but you don't need to flip. You don't need to dive. You don't need to do anything off the top rope to pop a crowd. You don't have to do any of that. They didn't do it back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, with the exception of Jimmy Fly, Snooker, and everybody. But the way they're doing it now, I don't agree with it. I feel like if you need to go that extra mile to get a response from the crowd, you're just not that good.
Now, you brought up kids. Do you think having a family, not being just, the guy hungry, just training, just by himself, no other responsibilities, do you think that guy has it easier, or do you think the guy with the family?
It all depends on the individual. You see, me, I've been working full time since I was 15 years old. I had my first son very young. I was 16 when I had my first son. He's 11 now. And hey, once I found out I was going to be a daddy, I had I had to wake up very fast, man. So I've been working, and I do anything I can to keep, more than a comfortable amount of money in my pocket. So for me, having two kids, a wife, and everything else, I can still do what I want to do comfortably. You just have to learn how. You just have to learn how to be responsible.
But does it take away from the in-the-ring action?
No, not at all. My mind is completely clear. Have I messed up in the past? Yeah, I mean, I've had some terrible matches, but for the most part, it doesn't really bother me. I spend a good amount of time with my kids, so they understand when I'm gone.
Now, what's your opinion of fan interaction, of fans? I understand, you're on the other side of the barricade, you belong there, don't get involved. What's your take?
My take is simple, and again, I'm going back to learning what I learned, the best from Johnny Rods. Love you, Johnny, by the way, man. I haven't seen you for like 3 years, but I'm coming back. To be a professional wrestler, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm the greatest thing to come out or that I've learned anything yet, but I've been in the business for 6 years now. And the sacrifices that you have to make in order to really make it in this business, or to have any type of respect, or just the things that you go through, you put your body through in the ring, you sacrifice a lot of time. A lot of guys do deal with injuries, you're on the road a lot, and there's a lot of frustration. And the key word here is sacrifice. That sacrifice that we make is not the same for a fan. A fan pays his ticket. Sometimes they pay more than they should. Sometimes they get in for free. But at the end of the day, you're a fan. You're a paying fan. You're paying to sit behind the guardrail. You're paying to meet a wrestler. You know what I'm saying? You haven't done jack in the business. I feel that for the most part, they shouldn't be so vocal. They shouldn't try to overstand what's going on, because they'll never understand unless they step in the ring in a 20 by 20 and take a bump and go through what we go through. They'll never understand the psychology of why we do what we do, and they'll never truly understand what we do. There are a lot of secrets. It's all entertainment, but it's still very real. And I think that's what the fans don't understand. At the end of the day, is everything that we give and everything that we give up in order to try and make our dreams a reality, or try to do our best out there, because it's not easy. It's really not easy. I recently had to apologize to a fan, Felicia Rose, because I gave her a hard time about what she was doing, and she was making a lot of mistakes in trying to sneak her way into the business without paying any dues. And once I caught her up on that, I really called out, but I did it the wrong way. I went a little bit too far. There's a friend of mine, Jay George, he pointed out some of my mistakes. When I'm wrong, I'm one of those guys. I'll admit it and I'll apologize. And I had to apologize to her because I was a little bit too rough on her. I just wanted her to understand what I just told you guys. you guys are not doing what we do. You know, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with voicing your opinion or anything like that. You know, but until you've stepped in a 20 by 20 and taken the bumps that I've taken and every other brother's taken, yeah, I think a lot of people need to stand behind the guard.
J. George's a bit of a wild card too.
J. George is a jabroni. No, I love J. George. J. George, man. He's one of those guys that we all said sucked when we first saw him and when he first started, and now he's one of the best talents out there in the Northeast, man. A lot of credit to that kid.
Now, is there one rivalry that sticks out in your head that you've gone through?
Real or fake?
Both.
A rivalry that I've gone through. I've never been liked enough in the business to be rewarded with a nice rivalry or anything like that. I've just had matches, man. You know, I haven't done anything that significant in the business. You know, some of which is my own fault, but most of it not. You know, I'll take credit for what I do. No, I've never done anything that interesting in wrestling. You know, when I go out there, I am a stylish heel character. I'm the sexiest model in the world. I don't wear shirts. I wear my Versace trunks, my shiny boots, and I'm the sexiest man alive. And what I do is I try to get the fans to escape reality for a second and just enjoy the show. And I think I do a good job with that.
See, you should like Connor, because Connor has the Versace.
I do like Connor. I like Connor. I just don't see him winning. You know. The realest rivalry? Oh man, I'm sure you know.
Well, I mean, I don't want to put words into your
I don't
mouth.
care. I speak about it. I have nothing to be ashamed about, anything like that. Elena Maximo. Yeah, she came to my house and hit me with the weapon. Can't say what it is, but yeah, she hit me with a weapon. Bro, can the camera zoom on my tooth so she can see this and feel guilty? Right here. She broke my tooth. And then I fought Joel Maximo and beat him up in my hallway, and that was it. But it all, I mean, and that's the truth. I have the audio if you ever want it. I have the audio. Like, I made him say, I made him tap out. And that's for real. It just goes to, I mean, it just goes to show what I said was true in the beginning. Like, I'm the nicest guy in the world, but just don't mess with me. I don't say that to blow smoke up my own, you know, but they had damaged a lot of my equipment. And I was going back and forth with him via text, trying to get the money for it and trying to work something out, you know. He stopped talking to me, so I wound up going on my podcast. Can I plug it?
Yeah, absolutely.
The Pinky and Cloud Show on YouTube. You can still check that out. It's still up there. And me and Pinky Sanchez basically blasted them for about 6 or 7 months. And finally, I guess they got tired of being, you know, the dead dog being kicked. and she came to my apartment.
But here's the thing about Maximo that boggles my mind.
Okay.
For someone who has, for good, bad, or indifferent, has the name recognition, has done some things in the business.
He hasn't really done anything.
But
if you know the truth, he hasn't done anything.
Okay, then the stuff that he puts out, you know.
He's selling himself. You know, I'd do the same thing if I was in his position, but just not, I wouldn't go about it the way that he does. Because he puts himself out there as if he's some type of legend in the business, and in reality, can't nobody stand him. You know, they know what he's about, so.
Right, that's what I was getting at. At that level, and to be, at the time, I don't believe FTW is still.
FSW?
Is still around.
They operate a school somewhere in Sheepshead Bay, but they haven't done it. It's been about 2 years, I think, since they've done a show. They can't, you know, they can't. You need money to run a show. You need a license to run a show. Nobody will work with them anymore. There's reasons. There's reasons. You know, I'm the only one that'll come out and speak out against it. Everybody else is afraid. But after everything they put me through, I don't really care, man. Like, to this day they owe me $3,500. broken equipment, and failure to pay me for films that shows that I filmed for them. And I have witnesses to that. You know, like people know that what I'm saying is the truth. They got mad because I exposed it. You know, it's not like I can go to court and say, "Hey, these guys owe me money." Yeah, they'll put it through, but will they pay me? With what? They don't have any money.
Now, getting back to the in the ring stuff for a second.
Yeah.
How do most of the guys in the back look at a money mark?
I don't respect a money mark unless they're doing what they came to do, which is, you know, basically put money into the business to make money back, and you're basically a silent partner. You don't do more than that when you're a money mark. That's what a true money mark does. It's somebody who you finance a wrestling company, and you make your profit back. You know, like it's like any other business. You know, you see like Rob Blatt. You know Rob Blatt?
Absolutely.
Is he a friend of yours?
Not a friend. As a matter of
I know,
fact,
because the guy's got the J connection.
No. As a matter of fact, actually, Rob, of all things, started doing stand-up.
I don't know why, because he's like...
And when I was still doing stand-up, I'm like, wait a second. You stick to the wrestling and let me stick to the stand-up, or else I'll jump in the ring. And that's not going to work, because my body's broken down, for Christ's sake.
Rob Blatt is... They should call him Rob Bland, because he's like the most unentertaining person that I've ever witnessed, like ever. The guy is like damn near like 40 years old or something like that, and he bought his way into wrestling, which is why I've always had a problem with him. I mean, like I said, if you're not paying your dues the right, which he's starting to, I'll give him credit, he's starting to do it now. But the way he broke into the business by giving Joel Maximo thousands of dollars in rent and gifts so that he can step into the ring and play wrestler or play general manager, I don't respect that. I understand why Joel did it and let him do it because, you know, they didn't have any money. But I don't have to respect that because I don't run a company. You know, I'm independent. And I don't know where my beef started with him. He just couldn't stand me from day one. And he made it his mission to try to, you know, get me out of two different promotions. And nobody, like, here's the thing. Nobody's going to come out and say it, but, like, he's a joke. You know, he's at the end of the day, he's a joke money promoter, and everybody says the same thing behind. I'm the only one that'll say it to his face, but everybody laughs at him behind his back. You know, whether they want to admit it or not. And basically, that's what a money mark is. You're respected when you stay out of the light. You know, you put your money in, you get your money back, and you do business as long as you have to. Now, when you go try to play wrestler, that's when I become offended. That's when I think any worker should become offended, unless they're profiting off that. But that's just me.
And I think, on that note, we're good. Yeah.
Are we?
Yeah.
Think so?
I think so. Unless you want to go at it.
No.
You're right, I'm broken
I got
down.
the Vince McMahon suit on. I can't arm wrestle.
Plus this desk, you know, they brought this desk in. It's going to fall apart on us here.
Did you have fun?
Question is, did you? And did you? And all of you?
I got
you and you and you.
I got a Google Cyborg.
Yes. She's a meanie.
I might want to meet her.
Definitely. All right. So on that note, we're going to head back on to the musical stage and more from Jonathan Sixay.
Then I squeeze it and I can tell just how it feels by the way she screams. I don't tell her enough. She looks better with no makeup on. Baby, what are you wearing tonight? I don't tell her enough. She looks better with her hair up. Baby, wear what you wore last night. And you look better with nothing on. You look better with no clothing on. I don't tell her enough. She looks better with no makeup on. Baby, what are you wearing tonight? I don't tell her enough. She looks better with her hair up. Baby, wear what you wore last night. And you look better with nothing on. You look better with no clothing on. I don't tell her enough. She looks better with no makeup on. Baby, what are you wearing tonight? I don't tell her enough. She looks better with her hair up. Baby, wear what you wore last night.
So, John,
How you been, buddy?
how are you?
It's nice to see you.
Cool. So how is the music scene in Connecticut going?
It's horrible. It's bad. Connecticut music scene is not really that good. To tell you the truth. We all want to be in New York.
Is it really like
Yeah.
that? Because all of us here in New York
Wanna
seem
be
to
in
want to,
Connecticut?
right? You know, it's,
I mean, I guess it depends where you go. I mean, New Haven's pretty good. Depends on what kind of music you're doing. I mean, like the metal scene does all right. I don't know much about the hip hop scene in New Haven and Connecticut, but cover bands do pretty well.
so what's been the best advice anybody's ever given you?
Best advice anybody's ever given me? Just get out there and play. Any chance you get, anybody offers you something to do it, go ahead and do it. Open mics, anything. Just get out there, let people see your face and hear your music.
You hear that? All you people who turned me down for a cable show, go do it. I mean, I hate Nike, but do it, it fits, you know?
Just get out and do it, man.
Okay, so you're working on a new album, almost done with it?
Almost done with it, yeah. I've been sitting on these songs for a few years. I've had them for a long time, so finally decided to record them all. I'm recording them in Meriden. I recorded a couple of them in Brooklyn, and then the studio in Meriden was a little closer. So, but the CD's called What I Did Last Night. I got a few songs that you can find available online. But hopefully, at the end of this summer, I'll have it all done and out.
Big blowout for it?
Having a few parties, yeah, if that's what you mean.
No, that's not what I mean. I know you aren't the party type at
Not
all.
at all.
John.
Not at all.
No.
Listen to my music. This Saturday, at the Frog Pond in Stratford, if anybody's around there, that's May 20th. I'm having a big party. We got a lot of good bands. We got Firejack promo girls. We got models that are going to be hanging out and stuff. And I just like to party, so we're just going to have a great time and play music.
And honestly, I got to tell you this face to face, bro.
What's that?
Well, the model goes, I would be there for. I mean, I need
That's
that
the whole
type
point.
of. I need that, but I'm working.
Well, it's all
I'm
night.
working.
There's probably even an after party going until 5 o'clock in the morning. We might come to New York to have the after party. Could you guys?
If you do that, if you bring it to New York, I'd say Brooklyn, but you don't want to party here.
No. Where do you got to go? Manhattan?
Manhattan, yeah. Yeah, Manhattan. We could party in Broadway Comedy Club and make Al's head explode. I could say that because, Al, I know you're not watching or listening. Although I would like to see you one of these days sit in one of them seats right there? You and me, Al. One-on-one.
I don't know who Al is. But
Al Martin. All right. Thanks a lot, John. I really appreciate it. You guys are going to close this out later, right? Awesome. All right. So, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is an absolute honor for me to finally have this amazing comic here. All the way from the island of Manhattan. Good friend of mine. I don't know if that'll remain true after today, but nonetheless, she is the incredibly funny Pauline Murphy.
Thank you for having me here. It's great to be here on the Cyclone Variety Show. It's great to be anywhere besides reading people's political opinions on Facebook. That's how I don't understand why people are even putting their political and social views on Facebook when you can just go outside and set a dumpster on fire. I feel like it's a lot more effective. But I am a native New Yorker. I took the subway over here, speaking of dumpster fires. I'm also a single woman in the city. And I know that I've been single for too long at this point because the most intimate encounter I had actually occurred on the subway not too long ago. I was on my way home from a girls' night out, and I fell asleep on the subway on the way home, and I was awoken to a homeless man rubbing my feet. Now, the first time I told this story, my mother was in the audience, and I swear I saw her soul just leave her body. But every time I tell it, people are always like, oh my God, Pauline, that's so gross. Like, he was rubbing your feet. What did you do? Now, I don't know what you think I did, but like I said, I'd been single for a while. And this man had the hands of a dirty, dirty angel. So I didn't tell him to stop. I did the only thing I could do. I just tipped him like $3 and went back to sleep. It's not every day that you get that little TLC on the way home to Bay Ridge. It's not cool. I also took my singleness on the road to Vegas not too long ago. Anybody here ever been to Vegas? Vegas people? It's a good time. I'm not a gambler, though. Not a gambler. The only thing I bet on when I go to Vegas is that the morning after I find out the guy I slept with is married. It's the only thing. But I was there not too long ago, and just like in the city here in New York, they have public transportation. They have a double-decker bus called the Deuce that takes you up and down the Strip and gets you to all the key points, all the casinos, everywhere you got to be. So for a cheap, drunk woman like myself, perfect. So I take this bus one night, I go to a club, I meet this guy, we're talking, he's buying me drinks, everything's going great. He asked me how my vacation was, and I said, you know, it was fine. It just took me a while to get to the club tonight because I had to take a deuce before I got here. And now, he was a tourist like myself. He didn't know I was talking about a bus. But what was even better is it didn't even affect him at all. He was like, oh, you know, whatever, babe. Sometimes that takes a while. Like, you're here now. That's all that matters. You're here now. So obviously, we went home together. And the next morning, I go to leave, and he says to me, so how much is that going to be for the night? I was like, excuse me, sir. I am not a hooker. And I took my shoes, and I left. And then a half hour later, when my card was getting declined at Chipotle, I thought to myself, I should really know my worth. So now I've been thinking about having sex for money, right? Because it'd be like a really cool thing to have both sex and money at the same time. I don't know. Just a novel idea of mine. Oh, God. Well, on the topic of Vegas, so we have this big fight coming up, right? Conor versus Mayweather. McGregor versus Conor. And they've been talking a lot of smack to each other, like at these press conferences. And I know Mayweather has actually accused Conor of stealing his pompous attitude and his blueprint for this lavish lifestyle. And now I'm a little more concerned of why he doesn't really care about the black and blueprints he leaves on women. That's just me, though. I don't know. I'm a little biased to the situation myself because I had a really bad breakup about a year or so ago. Me and my ex, it turns out we had to break up because we had a lot less in common than I had originally thought. Like, I like my beer domestic, but not my violence. Who'd have thought it, right? There was a silver lining, though, because if you do wind up dating a comedian who ends up being abusive, but he's not good at comedy, you know that you'll always get to be his best punchline. I don't know, you guys. There's a lot of weird laws in this country. Okay, like we know marijuana is not legal across the board yet, but I saw this weird law in the state of Montana. We know drinking and driving is illegal, texting and driving. If you're under the age of 30 and you're not good at it by now, I think Darwin has a theory, like maybe you shouldn't be here. But apparently, in the state of Montana, it is now illegal to jerk off and drive. First, this didn't really strike me as that weird, but I thought, the lawmaking process is really complex. What was happening in Montana that this had to become a thing on the books? Like, I want to see what the pie charts looked like, where they were like, no more. Never again will a Montanian man die with his privates in his hand. Imagine being like the cops on the scene, Jeeps flipped over. Like, well, there's no alcohol in his system. There's no other vehicle. Up. It's in his hand. It's in his hand. Call it in. When will it end? So my little PSA to you guys is don't drink and drive. If you're going to text and drive, be good at it. And if you're going to pleasure yourself and drive, just have a friend do it, Why are they sitting in the shotgun seat anyway? All right. Thank you, guys. I'm Pauline Murphy. I have to come sit now. This mic?
Yes.
Thank you.
So, Pauline.
Yes.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Really?
I'm happy to be here in Brooklyn, yes.
Really?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
Wow. It has to be the bar because I know it's not Maine. So it looks like I can't go to Montana anytime soon.
I'm sorry I ruined your road trip to the Northwest.
By the way, what train was that? Because it might have been me.
This was the R train?
It's definitely not me then.
Okay.
So let's start from the top with you. What drew you into doing stand-up?
Well, growing up as a child, I used to watch SNL with my family, and then just spinning off of that, just late night on Comedy Central, and I would just see these comedy programs and other comedians just, doing these live performances, and it just drew me to it. I've always been a fan of the genre, and then I always just admired the charisma and just the kind of magnetism that a lot of these like performers have. And then and then I started writing in college. People always told me to go for it, and I got involved in grad school with, I guess, what you'd call like an improv kind of stand-up little club thing. Did a couple shows with them, and then just kind of sprung out on my own from there in the last few years.
Now, is there anything you hate about the business?
Yeah, definitely. A couple of things that I hate are a lot of new comics sometimes get sucked into what's called a bringer show that producers do. And I understand business-wise why they're a very widespread thing, but for those of you that don't know, that's where a newer comic that can be completely inexperienced, and the producer, in a lot of the time, has not even seen their set. It's just like, hey, can you bring 6, 10, whatever amount of people, and you can get on stage for 5 minutes during a 3-hour show with 30 other new comics. But so those are definitely something that I don't care for, and I think that drink minimums are pretty burdensome to some of your guests when they're already paying like a $15 cover. I think there's a little bit of a reverse psychology, though, where if they were to get rid of drink minimums, I think some people would just be more open to just buying alcohol on their own. Like, I know, like, at the shows that I've produced in the past, and you've been on some of them, and there was never any drink minimum. People are just freely, running up a tab anyway. So I don't know. I definitely think drink minimums and bringers are the two dirty words for me. Now,
as someone who's been all over, do you prefer staying local or on the road?
They both. The thing about like being local, like here in the city, you can hit a number of stages in one night. You could just go boom, 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 and get on stage like 5 times on a weeknight. The great thing about going away for comedy is you'll have these, like, it'll be like these little towns where that's the one thing that's going on for that weekend, or it'll be like a fundraiser or a charity event, and you'll be in this nice, like this VFW or this hotel conference room with like 250 people performing, and and you get to make a whole weekend out of it. So you're only actually getting on stage once, and you typically get paid more, and you get to meet a new demographic and a part of a country that you probably haven't, you don't have that much experience with. So I like the road stuff more, me personally, just because I like to expand my views and who I have experiences with. But they both have their pros.
What's the one truly best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Is one good piece of advice I got was to always value any stage time that you do have, even if it's a mic with 3 people sitting in front of you, or a paid gig that's sold out. Like, just use every minute that you have on the mic as practice, as a valuable experience, and also to not take the blows too deeply to heart. Like, don't let bombing, don't let it ruin your month.
Which is everything I've done wrong. Ay. So do you think, especially nowadays, and we both talked, dabbled a little bit in it,
Mm-hmm.
do you think there's anything that is absolutely taboo that you just shouldn't touch?
I don't actually, because I think that where there's a will, there's a way. I think that there's a way to be clever and kind of playful, or like still salvage a little bit of taste and even touch upon like the darkest of subjects. And then I know, especially if it's coming from a place of personal experience, I think that you should have the right to express whatever topic it is, even if it's considered a little taboo by others. But as far as comedy goes, I think everything is on board.
Now, gun to your head, Sophie's choice sort of deal. Do you prefer either just performing, or would you rather take the mantle and say, I'm going to produce it, I'm going to host it, or I just want to perform?
Well, as someone that has done both, being in charge of an event and running all different aspects on it, as well as hosting, is a lot of fun. It gives you all that creative control, but it also can burn you out. So I just tend to, I've had it in the past where I would overburden myself, and I'd be doing like 4 or 5 events in a week that were my responsibility. So it's definitely nice to take a step back and, loosen the burden on yourself, and maybe do like a monthly thing for yourself, and then have, be a feature in everybody else's projects. So I kind of like not having the responsibility at this point in time, and that also ties into traveling, because when you're going away, it's not your thing. You get to be the guest.
It also gives you a hairline at this, because I swear to God, I look like Fabio at one point. What the hell happened to me? Jeez. So I want to thank you very much.
Thank you again.
She's one. I can't tell. See, that's the thing about me. I can't never tell if a chick is BSing me. No. That didn't come out right. That did not come out right. I think, like with every other female near me, I think I should just shut up. Although I do have to say, I want to thank my crew that actually showed up.
Yay!
Holy cow.
Crew.
And to the crew that didn't show up, I'm coming for you. And to everyone else that will be reading about this on Facebook, because I won't say it now. You guys are all going to be feeling some butt hurt soon.
You going to set a dumpster on fire?
With some people in it, mind you. But I want to thank all of you guys at home for watching. Now, as far as for me, please go like on Facebook the Cyclone Variety Show. Pretty please. Go like In the Cage with Cyclone on Facebook. Read all my articles on Bonehead Picks. And check out my new updated site, cyclonecomedy.com. Now, until next month, I am Cyclone saying, stay humble, America.
Blowing in her hair. Baby, you're like a song I just wanna hear again. I just wanna let you in, and we can do anything you wanna do. We can sing it the whole night. Baby, when I look at you, I can tell just what you like. I just want you here right now, and we can do anything you wanna do. We can sing it the whole night. She's like a song that's playing on the radio over and over. She's like a song that's playing on the radio over and over again. I really don't want to talk about it. You'll find the answers on your own. Sorry about it. I can't live without it. Maybe there's nothing left for me. Maybe I want it all. Sorry about it. I can't live without it, without you. Without you. Baby, you're like a song I just wanna hear again. I just wanna let you in, and we can do anything you wanna do. We can sing it the whole night. Baby, when I look at you, I can tell just what you like. I just want you here right now, and we can do anything you wanna do. We can sing it the whole night. And she's like a song that's playing on the radio over and over. She's like a song that's playing